It is a brand new edition of Hockey and Hounds. John Tortorella with Jason Myrtetus. Hockey and Hounds presented by Ticketmaster. Make more memories live. Got a great dog to feature this week, Torts. And boy, your team's not playing like some dogs right now. They came out of the break. Do you see them what you hoped you'd see out of the break?
Yeah.
In some regards.
Yeah. In a couple of nights ago, a couple of games ago, I don't think we finished the game the proper way against Winnipeg, but that happens when you have a big lead and all. But I really liked the way we played against Seattle. I thought it was a more complete game. Everybody contributed, gave up 11 scoring chances against. So we've been fairly consistent coming out of the break after losing 5. I think we were a little bit beat up and tired towards the end there in January. I hope we can, again, I've been telling the guys that, and I'll tell you, we know how we have to play. It's just trying to do it consistently now.
For you, part of your job is to make sure that, games like Winnipeg don't bite you in the butt. Yeah. Because, ultimately, when 82 are played, it could be a point or two, and that game didn't bite you.
Yeah.
Florida game in the first period, that didn't bite you. You found a way, but you got to guard against that biting you at some point, because sometimes the team will rally back.
Yeah. We have to do our business at home, right? We win a couple here. We've been a little inconsistent there. Have struggled in the afternoon games for whatever reason, and we have to do our business. And the past couple of games, getting that first goal helps the energy. So trying to get a lead, trying to play with a lead for a little bit, has been very important. So our starts are key as we get going back to a next game.
What is the difference for you as a coach, looking at it over many years, and the way a team approaches a home game versus approaches an away game? The away game, you're not there to entertain.
Yeah.
Just come in, do your job, get out, and typical road win type thing. What is the difference for you?
Yeah, road game, you're with the team. You have a scheduled lunch. They nap. You have a scheduled little a 4:00 a little snack. You're just more focused.
You're more rigidity.
You're more in a schedule.
Mm-hmm.
You come home, your family's the most important thing, and you're running around. Who knows what goes on with some people's lives when you're at home, and I think that has a little bit to play with it. You're just not on a schedule. You're not with the guys all the time, and I think sometimes you try to do a little bit too much at home also.
Yeah.
But I think the schedule part of it, just the focus of it, you can't help but be focused on the road because that's all you're doing.
You mentioned the Seattle game in that first period. That may have been the highest flying first period you guys have had all year. Guys, just their hair on fire in that period. I didn't see one D-to-D regroup in the D zone or neutral zone. It was get the puck and go. You guys were flying in that game, and that's when you say we know how we have to play. That's how you have to play.
Yeah, it's playing on our toes.
Yep.
And when we have the puck, we want to get going. We've really stressed area plays, flippers, area plays, so we can skate onto them. I think sometimes when you're looking to make all tape-to-tape plays, it's hard to make tape-to-tape plays because there's so much. Teams defend so well, and they take that important ice away. To put it into areas and everybody on the same page that it's going into an area helps your speed, helps your forecheck, helps your transition. I thought we did a really good job of that really throughout that game against Seattle, just putting into areas and keeping it simple.
Speaking of an area pass, how about a backhand Phil Mickelson 58-degree lob wedge from Garnet Hathaway to send Ryan Poehling in shorthanded? Yeah, that's an area pass.
Yeah, with the coach on the bench screaming, "Why?" I'm yelling.
You don't like that backhand over the middle?
He has a backhander from the corner.
Yeah.
And we're killing a penalty. He's on his forehand when he has. All he has to do, right-hand shot and bang it off the boards and it's down.
Chipping down, yeah.
So in the middle of him loading up a backhand, I'm saying, get the F off your backhand.
Yeah.
And right when it came out of my mouth, the puck's in their net. And obviously there's a few people that turn around and are giggling at me from our bench. But I'm –
the backhand in the middle. That's you're just looking at a pizza right there. A lot
it worked
times.
Out okay.
Yeah,
and even Garney knew. When Garney was skating to the bench, he was just shaking his head. What did I just do?
Got away with one.
Yeah, and obviously a really important goal.
Oh, so. Back-to-back games with a shorty for Ryan Poehling, and on both of those goals, he does the same thing. He looks off the goalie, selling pass, and then ties them both in a knot. Gets Brossoit in the Winnipeg game, beats him long side. And then, you look at Joey DeCourt, he just couldn't, he was tied to the knot. He couldn't move.
Yeah, he was frozen because
Yeah.
it was just I like the second one against Seattle
Yeah.
because it was a no look shot,
Yeah.
and it was quick. And to me, it shows he's just got confidence. Pales has been a utility guy for us, and that line's been good with Tyson playing there in some big minutes there, and I put Casey on the wing. It's been a good checking line, and it's given us some offense and forechecking.
The thing with Ryan Poehling too, and tell me how important you think this is. He is really assimilated into the group. I know he went away with the boys for the break, and he's kind of found his first true NHL home.
Mm-hmm.
You see a guy settle in that way, don't you?
Yeah, and I'm proud of him because he signs a 1-year deal to start here.
Mm-hmm.
Bets on himself, and I think I know it gets him to free agency. This 2-year deal, I know that's in a little bit of his mind, but I think Danny probably wanted him a little bit longer. The thing is, people don't realize he's young. Yeah. He's at the age group of where we're at trying to build this team. So,
he looks like an older guy.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he grow a beard in a minute.
Yeah,
and so he's at the right age. In Pitt, he was in and out, and I talked to Mike Sullivan about Sully really liked him, and
because he can skate.
He can.
He can fly for a big man.
For a coach, if you can skate, you're always going to find some spot for him. So he's been a great utility guy for us.
No offense to you here. I say never listen to a coach and what he says about a player. Look at his usage.
Yes.
And to me, that's the telltale sign in all sports.
Yes.
And your usage with Cam York, especially in the Seattle game, I see over 22 minutes of ice, over 3 minutes on the power play, over 3 minutes on the PK. He's become an all situations player for you.
Yeah, he's become, I said at the beginning of the year, I wasn't sure if he was a National Hockey Leaguer. He has developed very quickly. We screwed him last year, playing him too much on the right side. I made a mistake, keeping him on the right side as a young man, and it just never allowed him to feel comfortable. He's eating shots.
Are you surprised by that part?
Yeah, I am.
I am too.
I'm surprised because he's such, he's such a laid back kid.
Finesse
and he eats pucks. And I look at him and Seals. I think they're two of our best. And although we have a number of guys that are willing to do it, it surprised me with Yorkie, and he's probably one of our best defenders.
Yeah.
We're going to give him a little time on the power play. We want to reward him. We want to see if we can get some offense going. I don't want people to frame him as this offensive guy because I think he's found his little niche here as far as how you play, and he plays hard. So I'm really happy how he's gone about it.
I think he kind of fits the way you guys defend. With you guys getting out in transition and on the rush so much, you're going to give up some rush.
Sure.
And he and Drysdale, because of their feet,
their legs,
can defend on the rush so well. They're never off balance.
Yeah, they get back, and we're trying to teach our guys, especially those two. You don't have to skate backwards either. Skate forwards, just reset your route and close people that way. Sometimes
angle them, and
sometimes people think they have to turn and skate backwards, then get their angle. They can just use their feet and go forward and check.
Yeah,
the game's changed so much for defensemen that I think there's the way we're trying to surf up and check forward. We don't want our D skating backwards. You're skating backwards. You're giving up gap.
Yeah.
And with those two guys and their legs, it's a really good thing as far as time and space.
You look at your team, the way you close out Winnipeg. They didn't have a shot in the final 6 minutes. 3 of those minutes, the goalie was pulled, for goodness sake. Yeah. And they had a lot of zone time, but everything's to the outside, blocking shots. Same thing in Seattle. The ability to close out games and just lock down defensively. That's a great sign for you.
Yeah, at an important time of the year, I hope we continue. I like how we've come out of the break and played. As you know, as a coach, I'm always thinking, can we do it again? Mm-hmm. Can we do it again? Can we do that again? Can we start that way? Can we finish the game that way? Or is our penalty killing going to stay on top of things? And
if we could do it in the second and thard, why didn't we do it in the first?
Yeah, you're always
perfection.
You always think it's going to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have some bumps, and again, especially so magnified now with 20 plus games left, and where we are in the standings, it magnifies even more. When we do have a struggle, how do you get out of it? How do you handle that situation? And it's coming, and I'm not trying to destroy us here and be half empty. I like our team. I've liked it all year long, but we're going to have some tests. I've looked ahead a little bit, just seeing the schedule when we start playing the East. We get some weeks when you got Boston twice that week, and there's a stretch coming that there's some top-notch Carolina a couple of times. It's going to be a really good test, but they're meaningful games for us. We're still there, and I'm anxious to see how some guys go about it.
And against those teams with some of those players you'll face, and you'll see one on Thursday with Austin Matthews and some of the weapons they have, or Pasternak, the details of the game is going to be good. I know you talked about Sean Couturier after the game the other day. He's on the ice for 2 goals against there, kind of the flyby on the second one, and then ends up deflecting it into his own net. But then he atones for it. And you kind of call it, he's like a crusty old veteran guy. And he is a bit of a throwback, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what I wasn't sure where it was going to go with Coots and I. When I first met him last year, he wasn't playing, and he did nothing but piss and moan. He was complaining, I want to play. Where's the rehab? Are we doing it right? And it was just every day. And but I've watched him since he's put that uniform back on. They want to play, right? These guys, that's their life. I've watched how he's handled himself. I'm so impressed after having 2 years of major surgeries, do the things he's done this year and the way he handles himself. He's not a big hauler guy, but he leads by example. And I thought he was terrible for most of the the game, and not just the goals
Fighting
against.
the puck.
Oh, he was fighting everything. It was
Chopped
just
it
one
up
of those
all over.
games. And, but then he comes through in a huge goal for us. To me, the goal is the goal, but winning the faceoff. And
that's exactly what we talked about.
It's key.
Yeah. I don't tend to blow up these face-off numbers, but when you have a bit of a set play in the offensive zone and you win it, and TK comes in right behind him, he disengages the center, goes right to the net. Sandy knows he's going. Give him a tippable shot. Getting scheduled starts for your backup goaltender, Cal Peterson, is going to be really important, even though the schedule right now is not super congested, but you don't want to get Sam to a spot where you exhaust them and then you're trying to maintain that. Just don't get them there.
No, we have to remember, I know where we're at. We're in a battle here, and Sam's our guy. We also have to evaluate Sam too for the future. And he's our number one guy now. It's a whole different mindset for a number one goalie. I am not going to run him ragged, trying to get him to play that next game. And, because we need those points, and we're going to need points throughout the rest of the year. We're going to try to do it the right way and get him the proper rest. Cal will play some games. Right now, for the next little bit, they're spread out. So I think I can go with Sam. But Cal's going to play some games because as much as we want to try to win every game, we still have to evaluate Sam on where he sits. We drafted.
And that's
some
a
goalies.
fair evaluation if he's not tired.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to put him in a spot where we're running him ragged, and he can't handle that. And this is a lot. This is a big thing for him now. What would happen with our situation here? And now Sam's our go-to guy. We still have to treat him fairly and make sure we get him the proper rest.
And we don't have to grade on a curve because, he was tired or whatever it may be. Let's talk about our dog this week, because we've got a dog named Frog. Yeah. This dog, it says, who needs a prince when you can have a frog? I don't know where people come up with the names for a dog. Could you imagine being at the dog park, though? Frog!
Yeah,
people kind of looking at you sideways.
But people, we've adopted a lot. We've adopted all ours. We always change their name.
Yeah,
I hope someone changed the name. He doesn't look like a frog.
No.
I'll let you finish. He's a bit of an old timer. Go ahead.
Yeah. He's got some years on him. Frogs. He's a mixed male breed. Estimated, he's about 9 years old. He's a great dog, a real chill dog, sweet looking dog. Let me show you the video here as we kind of talk about it as well. And then he's in foster right now, which is great. They describe him as a happy little guy, loves spending time indoors or outdoors when the weather's nice. And he's always, I love a dog that likes to get in the car. I love taking my dog for rides with me.
Just did it yesterday with 5 of ours.
Yeah, you pop out of the store and you look at, and there's the dog in it. You coming back yet? And the whole thing. So this dog will jump in the car with you, go for a ride, go for some errands. And since he is 9, Frog loved to find a home where he doesn't need to hit the stairs too much. Got a little bit of arthritis, but handles it fine with his medication. As far as other dogs, he's not going to give a lot of attention to another dog, but should likely be fine in that situation as well. But very calm, chill dog, senior dog. So it's not going to be this dog that's going to be up, on you all the time going, give me attention, give me attention. These dogs are pretty self-sufficient.
Yeah. When we were talking, we need those people out there that specialize in this, in the senior dogs.
Yeah.
And there's a community out there that looks to help senior dogs later in their life to give them the best life possible. This is a beauty for that.
Yeah.
And I was just watching the tape. He still gets along pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I watched him sit and try to get up. You can see he's a little bit tender there when he gets up. But, I mean, look at that face. And to be able to get along with other dogs and maybe need a little help like we were talking about on the stairs. But this dog's ready to go. It still has a ton of energy for a 9-year-old dog.
And a lot of love to give as well.
Yeah.
If you're looking for the senior sweetheart of your dreams, we're coming up on Valentine's Day. I'm just saying that'd be a nice little gift, right? You can learn more about Frog at the Flyers and Philly Paul websites. The adoption info is at Hockey and Hounds, the homepage at philadelphiaflyers.com/Hockey and Hounds. And make sure you go there, check out Frog. And we've had such a great success rate with Hockey and Hounds towards.
Yeah, can we talk about that for a minute? So where are we at
I'm overwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
I mean, so many people are stepping up and providing these dogs, whether they're fostering or making it their forever home. And we got to keep it going because there are more dogs like Frog that we need to get in home. Frog's in a foster. That's great. Yeah. But we got to find that forever home.
Yeah. And I think it gives us a chance to thank the people that really, I've had so many people when I'm out, they want to talk hockey, but we end up talking about this show, Hockey and Hounds. So it's again, I'm so fortunate we've been able to do this with Smitty and all, and to bring the awareness here. And the people have been fantastic. And to have so many people come up to me and talk about Hockey and Hounds, we got to keep on pushing. And this is something that will never go away, right, Jason?
No, there's always going to be
animals need help. Yes.
And we're going to find Frog a home like we have so many other dogs. And again, you can see all the dogs up for adoption at the Hockey and Hounds homepage, philadelphiaflyers.com/Hockey and Hounds. And we're going to have an update, like kind of an itemized update soon on all the dogs that we've been talking about. Because it's just, I look, if you're going to ask people to help, let's tell them how people are helping too. Let's tell them how everybody's stepping up. And I think it's fantastic and a great time of year. We're getting ready to get to spring. And a great time to get outside with the dog as well.
It's great stuff.
I was at a Super Bowl party and they had a beautiful retriever. It was like brindled body, but looked like a chocolate lab that they got from Paws over in Delaware County about a year ago. Just beautiful dog. Dog's name was Foles, after Nick Foles. Did you watch the Super Bowl?
Watched the Super Bowl. Almost fell asleep in the first half.
Well, that took offense back a few years.
But then because I like Shanahan. I think he's done a great job there. And I'm a big McCaffrey fan to watch him play. Mm-hmm. I wanted them to win, and not that I didn't like Kansas City. Andy Reid. I mean, how can you just a tremendous man. I'm watching the second half, and I'm watching San Fran just not capitalize. They have an interception, they don't capitalize, they get stalled, and you knew it was going to come down to Mahomes can't have the ball at the end of the game. It's just unbelievable what that guy has done.
When you see him. Like I see him on that overtime or even the drive in the fourth quarter to tie it. Yeah. Heart rate is not elevated at all. He is one cool cucumber, isn't he?
I watched him in the winning drive, and I watched him in between plays. And he always has that hand, Andy, give me the call.
Hurry
call
up.
It in.
Yeah.
And he is just so in tune. His body language and you could just see it happening. Yeah. And again, I would never bet against Andy Reid and him, and I'm a huge Andy Reid fan. I just for this year, I just want to. I think Shanahan's done a great job there, and they've got some weapons there. They lost some weapons when that guy went out with the Achilles, just trying to run.
Oh my goodness, right?
Yeah, and
Greenlaw.
Great. It was a great second half, and football. Huge football fan. The National Hockey League. A lot of times we don't play on Sundays. Mm-hmm. And I don't look at any hockey tape. I watch football all day long.
Do you take stuff from that and apply it?
I watch the coaches.
I knew you did.
Coaches, and that's what I like watching their interviews. I just like watching how they do things because I think you can learn. But it's amazing how many times it just comes down to the last possession.
Yeah.
Regular season playoffs. It's
And
always the last
executing.
possession. Yeah.
Yeah.
Timeouts,
Mhm.
clock management, all the things that come into play. It's the greatest TV sport.
Yeah.
And I hate going to it live because I think we have some of
So
the
good on
greatest
TV.
commentators.
Yeah.
I thought Tony Romo, and a lot of people don't like him sometimes, the way he was explaining man coverage versus
Yeah.
zone, how they're disguising it yesterday, I was locked in just listening to his language and him drawing up before the ball snapped. Okay, he knows he's man.
Yeah. Look for this.
Yes,
Yeah.
the commentators are fantastic.
Yeah, it educates the fans. I
Yeah.
think the more educated you are on a sport, sometimes you can enjoy it more. 'Cause
Absolutely.
you know what they're trying to accomplish.
Absolutely, to me, it's the greatest TV sport out of all of them. I could watch football all day long.
Yeah, and looking at other coaches, you always go, okay, can I take a little piece of that here? Can I take a little
Yes.
piece of that? You know, you look at successful
Yeah.
guys and you go, okay, there's something there I can steal.
Shannon and I had a couple of conversations through Texas regarding. I don't want to give up too much. We just had a couple of conversations. I don't know them.
Mhm.
It was just a couple of texts, and so it kind of you kind of pull for him
Yeah.
when a question's asked, and I ask a question. So I was kind of pulling for him there a little bit, and he's done. Listen to Romo talk about how he disguises his offense, all
Yeah.
the emotions that go
Yeah.
with it to open up a part of the field.
Yeah.
I was fascinated with the color yesterday by Romo and explaining things as the game went on.
How would Torts have handled that moment when Travis Kelce bumped Andy Reid?
You know what? What would happen today if they didn't win?
Yeah.
It'd
be a total S storm.
Yeah, I get emotion. I mean, I
You
live
like
in
it, you want it.
Yeah, and you love it. But man, it just it's not for me to judge. That could have gotten really. If
Yeah.
they lost, what happens? Does it go blown up? I'm not sure what happens now.
Yeah.
And
It's all fun now.
Yeah, but I watched Andy. They
Mhm.
showed a replay of him and Kelce going at it maybe a couple of years ago, and Andy threw his shoulder into him.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's what the relationship is.
Yeah.
I mean, you love the emotion, but I thought Andy was going to fall down.
Yeah.
And emotion is such a, and Kelce is not the player he is if he doesn't have that emotion. That
Got to
fire,
play with
right?
fire.
Yeah. So yesterday, the second half and all the stuff going on, I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was a fascinating night for sure. You got a fascinating week of hockey coming up, and going to have the Stadium Series on Saturday as well, which is a very important game. But again, for all the adoption info, go to the Hockey and Hounds homepage at PhiladelphiaFlyers.com/Hockey and Hounds. Torts, thanks for doing this.
All right, man.
Greg, best of luck this week.
Thanks, bud. See ya.